On General Hospital, Chase and Alexis deliver good news to Willow. Nina plots to get rid of Jacinda, and Felicia learns Portia has no alibi for the night Drew was shot. At Bobby's, Gio, wearing all black for their heist, meets with Emma, who tells him she failed to get the key fob to Dalton's lab. However, Charlotte and Rocco are trying to get their hands on it as they speak, and Gio tells her that he's sure they'll come through for them. She thinks she should go change into her outfit, kisses him, and takes off. Ned arrives as Emma heads out, runs into Gio, and joins him at a table. They chit-chat about Tracy getting the mansion and the family back as well. The latter, he knows, is thanks to Gio talking to Tracy. Ned explains that Tracy is celebrating her win with a trip to France, and he's working to get all the boxes at Lulu's moved back to the estate. Chase visits Willow in Pentonville and brings pictures of the kids for her to look at. She becomes emotional, takes his hand, and says she couldn't do this without him. Alexis arrives and reminds Chase that he's not to have physical contact with the inmate. Alexis then explains she's here because she might be able to secure her release. Alexis says she has gathered testimonies on her behalf, including Chase's, and believes she has a good chance of making bail now. Chase pipes up and explains he has made progress on her case too, and is looking into Michael's alibi, Jacinda. Chase believes Jacinda as Michael's alibi could go up in smoke if it turns out she was with a client that night after she ran into Michael at the bar. Drew arrives at Crimson and is stunned to find Jacinda still working as Nina's assistant. He guesses Michael paid her more than Nina to stick around, and warns her that when Michael goes down, she will too. Nina interrupts and asks why Drew is harassing her assistant. Nina pulls Drew into her office, where she explains that Michael convinced Jacinda to stay. However, she has a new plan, one that will cause Michael to get rid of Jacinda for them. They need to arrange for Michael to be seen in public with Jacinda and his kids. Nina says people will talk, and he won't risk his reputation as a good father being tarnished by a sex worker, and will have to send her away, making him the main suspect in Drew's shooting again. Drew hobbles out of Nina's office and tells Jacinda that she should take his earlier advice. He warns her she's helping Michael get away with attempted murder. Drew departs, and Nina yells from her office to Jacinda to call Michael, as she needs to discuss something with him face-to-face. Back at Bobby's, Ned finishes his meal and decides to deal with Tracy's boxes. Gio wishes him luck. Ned takes off as Emma returns, all in black. Neither has heard from Charlotte or Rocco yet. Outside, Ned is on the phone and has learned the boxes weren't delivered to the estate, and the company has no idea where they are. He fears their family heirlooms have been lost. Drew appears and says they aren't lost. They are where they are supposed to be. At Sunny's, he speaks with Michael about Willow's trial and the possibility that another suspect could turn up. He won't tell Michael anymore, except that Alexis is already aware of this. Michael feels his father sympathizes with Willow, but Sunny says it's best if Willow is acquitted, because they need to make this case go away for his sake as much as Willow's. They step outside so Donna doesn't hear them, and Michael gets where his father is coming from, wanting this case to go away. But Willow being free isn't what's best for his kids. He storms off. Justine shows up later at Sunny's door, having had a flat tire which she tried and failed to change. Sunny invites her in, and Donna brings her a cloth to clean up the grease that's all over her. Justine tells Sunny that she smashed her phone accidentally trying to use the jack and walked here, breaking her heel in the process, and was hoping to call for roadside assistance. Sunny says she doesn't need to call for help as he owns a fleet of tow trucks. Donna offers Jacinda cookies she and her dad just made and runs to the kitchen. Sunny rubs off some of the grease on Jacinda's cheek that she missed, and they share a close moment gazing into each other's eyes. Michael arrives at Crimson to see Nina and greets Jacinda on the way in. In her office, Nina tells Michael that she would like to see her grandchildren, as it's been too long. He says that's fine with him and it would be good for the kids. She wonders what the catch is. Michael says there will be limits as to what she can say to the kids about Willow, so if she crosses the line, she won't get to see them anymore. At the hospital, Isaiah stops in to see Portia in her office. Felicia interrupts them and explains Willow Tate is trying to document her whereabouts the night Drew was shot, and she wonders if Portia saw her that night. Portia claims she was on call, but she was in her office and never saw Willow. After Felicia leaves, Isaiah reminds Portia that she was with him the night Drew was shot, which Portia hasn't forgotten. Isaiah wonders if they should go to the police to clear things up. Meanwhile, Felicia logs into the on-call records and learns that Portia got off at 8 p.m. that night. At the Quartermains, Brooklyn tells Dante that what she's about to say to him has to stay between them. She worries Chase has gotten too involved in Willow's case and will be dragged down with her. Dante notes Chase is a good cop and knows the law, but Brooklyn feels the whole case hits too close to home. Brooklyn tells Dante that they both know Michael and that he could have been the one to shoot Drew and frame Willow. Dante doesn't know if Michael shot Drew, but he feels he's capable of framing Willow. Brooklyn says this investigation and case could cost Chase everything if he gets too involved. At Sunny's, Donna interrupts Sunny and Justine's almost kiss when she returns with milk and cookies. Justine takes a bite and tells Donna the cookies are delicious. In Pentonville, Willow admits to Alexis for the first time in a long time that she has hope. Alexis says they still must convince a jury that the police rushed to judgment and missed the real killer. Michael is just one suspect, and there may be more. That's when Felicia calls with news that Portia's alibi doesn't hold up. At the mansion, Dante tells Brooklyn that Chase has visited Willow 3 times in Pentonville, which is not typical for an officer investigating a case. Chase appears and Dante leaves them to chat. Brooklyn asks Chase point blank if he's working to free Willow. At Crimson, Nina tells Michael she'll respect his limits and thanks him for letting her see the kids. Michael says he only wants his kids to be happy and safe. Michael steps out, talks to Jacinda, and Nina listens as they make plans for dinner at the Metro Court Gardens. At the hospital, Portia tells Isaiah they can't go to the cops as it would cause suspicion. He realizes she's right, and it could cost them their jobs. At Bobby's, Gio tells Emma about his conversation with Ned, whom he calls a good guy. He's starting to bond with his other grandfather. Outside, Drew tells Ned that he's had the boxes shipped to his house, so he might not have the mansion, but he has the heirlooms that were in it. Ned becomes angry and accuses Drew of keeping those heirlooms from the family out of spite, and he's going to sue him for theft. Suddenly, Ned becomes weak and Death grips onto a chair to stay standing. Drew laughs and accuses him of faking a heart attack like Edward once did. Drew hobbles off and Ned collapses.